point, as I said on my campaign trail. There are a lot of houses with blue tarps on there from Hurricane Ike. There are a lot of seniors that are staying in homes that need to be rehabbed. I'm keenly interested in affordable and workforce housing. Those are my priorities. Those are my priorities. But I recognize coming in midway in a fiscal year with an April 30th deadline, the last thing you want to see is money going back. And so the schools, the RFP was already in progress. They went through an RFP process, and they were good projects. They were worthy of the funding. They got the funding. But now as we move forward in another fiscal year, another round of CDBG dollars, my priority is to focus on housing, workforce, affordable housing, removing blue tarps off of people's homes. Those projects, for me, are very important, and I want the CDBG funding to reflect my priorities.
Mayor, if I could, on another subject, I had a conversation today with one of the opponents of the Equal Rights Ordinance, who was saying that, well, we saw some results out of the Carolinas after they passed their law there. But he was pointing out that we haven't seen any impact in Houston so far. We didn't lose the Final Four, Super Bowl hadn't pulled out. What do you say to people? What do you say to that? Do you think we're still going to see some impact? Still concerned about it?
Well, you know, I would tell you that when I had lunch with the president of the NCAA just this week, when they were in town, he brought that issue up to me, and said that people had questioned him as to, you know, why you're in Houston, what Houston did, and how would I explain it. And what I indicated to him is that, you know, we are the most diverse city in the country. We're always seeking to be inclusive. That I interpreted the vote against Proposition 1 as not against, not as a vote for discrimination. And then what I said to him is that, you know, the former mayor was a member of the LGBT community, and look at me. You know, I think I'm, you know, representative of diversity. So the city is a city that's moving in the right direction, and we're certainly seeking inclusion. And the NCAA was already in progress. Work was being done. Super Bowl is already, you know, on the calendar. But this is a city, I think, that is certainly practicing inclusion every single day. Can we do better? Absolutely. But I don't think we got to the level of where North Carolina is or what Mississippi is. That's not to say that, you know, there's not work to be done. So I think it's an issue that Houston will always have to address. I had to address it at the lunch table, you know, and I'm sure I'll have to address it again and again and again. But we'll keep moving forward. You know, my focus right now is budget. I mean, that's where the focus is. But I don't think you can say that it's an issue that doesn't affect Houston. It certainly does, and there are conversations that are being had about it. At least I had to address it.
Are you still concerned that we may end up losing some convention business, some future events?
Well, you never know what you're not losing, you know, unless somebody stands up and says we're not coming to the city because it's hard to know what we're missing out on. You know, I think we, you know, as a city, I think we're fortunate, but I think what's putting us maybe in a different category is the diversity of the leadership that exists. So when you're talking about, let's say, discrimination, and you're looking around and you're looking at those of us who are around the city council table, we are reflective of that diversity. We are reflective of men and women. First, Mayor Pro Tem, Jewish person is Mayor Pro Tem, members of the LGBT community, Hispanic, Asians, we're at the table. And I think that has been our saving grace. In the absence of that, I think the response might be much harsher.
We are on a different topic, back to the budget. You said you're going to introduce the budget earlier this year. Can you just talk about what the benefit is of that?
Well, the benefit is that when S&P and Moody downgraded us, and they point to, for example, the economy, funding liability, the revenue cap, and the fact that, you know, we're facing a shortfall. I think to be able to balance the budget assuming the worst, $160 million shortfall, if we can balance the budget early and get it done early, I think it shows that we are in a strong position to deal with our financial situation. I think it sends a very strong message to the credit rating agencies that we are not having to yank every nickel and try to go through a whole lot of machinations to get it done, that we have put the right processes in place, that we are operating in a very efficient manner, that we are streamlining every department, and that we have a financial system in place that can even assume the worst situation and get it done fairly soon. And then we can turn looking at other things. I think it sends I think it works against us if we're waiting until June and passing the budget out at the very last moment, and the mayor and the members of the city council are trying to look here to find $1 million or over here to find $5 million. The budget that I'm submitting, the budget plan that I'm submitting to the city council on April the 15th will eliminate 54 vacant positions. It will lay off less than 40. It will maintain a fund balance of about 9.4%. It maintains our commitment to rebuild Houston, the equivalent of about 11.8%. It adds another police cadet class. Instead of 4, there are 5. So it takes care of our priorities, and it assumes a budgetary shortfall of $160 million. So, but it also requires shared sacrifice. Okay. So, and I have discussed the budget plan with Moody, with S&P, and with Fitch. And quite frankly, I think you've talked to them. I think in the absence of having discussed it with them, the credit rating downgrade probably would have been worse.
So you're saying you are going to balance the budget?
The plan that I'm submitting to City Council balances, takes into account $160 million shortfall and balances the city budget. And it maintains a fund balance of 9.4%. And it eliminates 54 vacant positions, lays off less than 40 active employees, maintains our commitment to rebuild Houston, and it adds another cadet class. Instead of 4, it is now 5.
Can I get one